Some of the AFL's biggest names have spoken passionately about the current state of the game as CEO Gillon McLachlan prepares to visit Tasmania on Wednesday. One player has described the TSL as going nowhere. Others are critical of the junior pathway, while most agree a major cash injection is needed urgently.
I'm a proud Tasmanian, and to see Tassie footy going backwards, it really hurts me.
Following strong performances for Clarence in the Tasmanian State League, Josh Green was drafted to the Brisbane Lions in 2010 before being picked up by Essendon.
That's why I'm a bit annoyed about the whole situation, because it helped me get to where I am.
He says the TSL is no longer a viable option for players.
My mates have walked away, have got better money, not as serious in the SFL. So until the AFL pours more money into it, no one's going to play TSL.
It was that lack of numbers that forced Devonport and Burnie out of the competition.
It's disappointing that we find ourselves in a situation where it nearly is at crisis point.
4 current AFL players honed their craft at either the Magpies or Dockers.
The guys that I talked to, they've been there for a while, and they just wanted to obviously keep playing there.
I think it's just a matter of time before the Tassie footy and the AFL come together and make some changes and get some resolutions.
I'm sure if they can keep working hard, I'm sure they can get back in the state league.
I'm not so sure about the state league. The travel these days is a fair commitment.
But that's not the only issue. Players can also slip back to lower levels and earn twice as much while training less.
Players just want to play for fun these days and chase a bit of cash in the country, so I think, players should, if they really want to push themselves, they should try and play at the top level.
Until they get some ex-AFL players back to really drive the league, it's going nowhere.
Once the curtain falls on his AFL career, Green would love to return home to Tasmania, but a lot would have to change.
It'd be too hard at the moment. Financially, I wouldn't be able to head back because there's just not the money there.
Most Tasmanians are extremely critical of the goings-on here at AFL House. Plenty of former premiers, local football administrators and personalities from the Upper Isle have walked in and out of the doors behind me with little success. Most of what they've said has fallen on deaf ears.
The thing I get frustrated with, it's all AFL Tasmania's fault or it's AFL's fault. Clearly there are broader forces at work here, and there's real challenges with the economy and with unemployment and with jobs.
While some are critical of the TSL, others are more concerned about our junior pathway, with just one player drafted to the AFL in the past 2 seasons.
We're not getting recruiters down to see these kids play. They're getting 1 or 2 chances on the national championship stage to prove their worth.
I'd like to see the junior development side of things really progress and get that nice and stable and get the participation numbers up and going.
Passionate Tasmanian and current Carlton coach Brendan Bolton wants to see the Tassie Mariners return to the TAC Cup.
That's where the most get drafted, but more importantly, it mightn't be immediate. Those who don't get drafted, which is most of them, can go back to footy in Tassie and raise the standard after that.
I reckon it'd be really good to get the Devils back up and going if they could, and then get some some youth coming through there.
Perhaps the most intriguing part about the AFL's relationship with Tasmania is what will happen at the end of the 2021 season when Hawthorn and North Melbourne's contracts with the state expire. It's a question nobody can seem to answer.
The softest part of Tasmania in terms of producing drafted kids was the northeast compared to the northwest and the south. Now that's changed completely in the last, say, 10 or 15 years. Now what's changed? Well, there's games being played at Launceston. That's what's changed.
History tells us if the AFL thinks the issue of the state being granted its own licence will go away, it simply won't, with Tasmanians seemingly more passionate now than ever before.
I don't think there's any doubt. I think Tasmania should participate in the AFL competition in some way, shape or form.
Can it happen in our lifetime, do you think?
Absolutely.
How?
I don't know. As I said, they're questions that are above my pay grade, Brent.
The AFL didn't respond to our request for an interview with CEO Gillon McLachlan.
Tassie footy is a pivotal part of Australian sport, I feel, so we should try and do everything we can to get it back to where it needs to be.
The one thing I hope never happens is I hope the AFL don't come complacent about us being a traditional football state, because we are a traditional football state and we're a proud football state.
Enjoyed this Win News item? Like, tag or share with friends.